Today, Ghana marks exactly 50 years of the overthrow of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and we caught up with the head of security at the castle at the time, in the person of Major Agbeko Sedziafa, retired, and he's here to tell us his experience when it all happened. Welcome.
Thank you,
Major.
Madam. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Okay. So, you were with your Sedziafa in China when the overthrow occurred, and so I believe that you stayed through to him. You stayed with him throughout till what time?
Yes, till he died and the body was brought together.
Oh, okay.
According to Colonel Zanragu, was a very personal, senior brother of mine. We were together in the army, 3BN. He was then lieutenant. So all along, he has been my boss. His narration to me when we came back was that the day of the coup, they were not aware what was happening. He was in his house when a telephone rang. Who rang? It was General Bawa, the one who was killed.
Okay.
His son. They always called the boy Captain, Captain, Captain. So Colonel said he was in his room when the boy rang, around 1 a.m. or so. Dada, Colonel, some soldiers have come to they have taken my daddy away. Then the thing sound alarm to him. That's what, according to conversation we had. They said, what was happening? Then he got alerted. Not knowing those who are going to make the coup, they have already earmarked the people they are going to pick up, the people they are going to, kill before anything else. And Kanzaragu was also one of them, because he was the commander of the presidential guards. They are the fighting force, because they know without him, everything will be easy for them.
Cold chop.
Yes. Apparently, Colonel Zanragu is a very experienced officer. He hasn't got his name tag on his bungalow.
But the rest all had their name tags on their bungalows?
As for him,
why didn't he have his?
For security reasons. So, when they pick up General Bawa, and the boy alerted Colonel Zanragu that, they've come to pick my daddy. Some soldiers came. Then the thing sounded to him and said, what's happening? Then he became alerted. Then he put up his tracksuit. Before he realized, he had the soldiers looking for his house. Because the name was not in front of the bungalow, they missed the house.
They missed it.
They missed it. So quickly, when he saw them, then he took cover. By then, there was fighting already in Flagstaff house. Okay. He was at the Dolua Villas when this was happening. So according to him, he put up his tracksuit, jumped through the wall, then walked from Dolua Villas through Elwak, then through Christ the King Church, just behind Flagstaff, Christ the King Church. It was there he realized that they were fighting, the soldiers were fighting his troop to overtake Nkrumah. So, at that time, there were some flats facing the Flagstaff house.
Yes, they're still there.
Yes.
Those story buildings.
Flats,
Yeah.
yes.
Our security men were occupying that place. That was where some of our security men were occupying. So he maneuvered to enter the flat and stood at the place. That means the main road was dividing himself and the Flagstaff house. Then he was watching what was happening. They were exchanging fire with the troops until he heard the voice of his W,
Warrant
one
officer.
officer. Then he shouted his name. That's CO, CO, CO. Then immediately the soldiers cooled down a bit. Then what he did was, then he got off from the other side of the road. Then, he cannot, after military, you can't go straight. You have to be going this way so that when somebody aim at you, he will not get you. He maneuvered himself and got to that place. By the time he got there, the ammunition that the troops were using were almost exhausted. So he asked them to cool down. They should stop firing. Only once in a while they should fire.
Were there casualties by that time where had people been killed?
Well, that's for casualties for the advancing troops, those who were trying to overtake. There were casualties. Because the type of weapon they have, when they aim at the vehicle will bend together with other people. Wow. For that one, we have sophisticated weapons. Now, when Colonel Zango took over his command with the people, hey, come and see. They were fighting this flag until he needed reinforcement. This is where the problem came from.
He couldn't get reinforcements?
The same message to Shah Hills for his second in command to come. Not only that man was bought.
He was bought?
He was bought.
Okay.
The coup will never have happened.
Who was that man?
Colonel Tete. No, Major Tete. Shah Hills. The same messages that they need reinforcement because most of our armament were kept
had been sent there
at that place. They were fighting until around 4 a.m.
Of the 25th? 4 a.m. of the 25th?
24th.
The 24th. Okay, it started quite at midnight.
It started at midnight.
Okay.
It started 23rd midnight. So Colonel Zango said he realized that the ammunition that they were using was getting exhausted. So he asked the people to control what they were doing. Then it came to a point that at that time they have a small radio with them. So all the announcement that was being, aired on radio GBC, they were listening to everything. So when they were fighting, the commentators were reporting what was happening, and they were also listening. So when he realized that there was little they could do without the reinforcement, they tried everything possible. This man refused to come.
So they surrendered?
Now, before they surrender, Colonel Zango said, look, the president that they were protecting was away, was not in the country. Now, the only thing they could do now was to protect the family. That means Madam Fatia, Samia,
children,
Sekou,
and Gamal.
And Goke.
Gamal.
It's Goke, to protect them. So what he did was that to see what was happening, he took a white blanket tied with a stick and hoisted it on one of the vehicles, two vehicles. One from they drove from Flagstaff House to Sankara. Is it Sankara Circle? Now Akoje.
Yes.
One from Akoje to Circle, one from Akoje to Danko Circle, just to get the mind of what was happening. All this thing going on, Radio Ghana was announcing it. They were hearing everything on the set. So he found that, okay, in attempt to send Madam Fatia, Samia, and the brothers to a safer place, what he could do was that then he ordered for the escort cars. Normally, we have escort car. We have the one in the front, the one the person, and then the one behind, and the supporting one. So he asked them to lie them out to get ready. But then still yet, the soldiers they were still fighting. So by then he was in communication with the Egyptian ambassador.
Ambassador.
Yeah, because Fatah naturally is an Egyptian.
Yeah.
To keep them because they were run short of ammunition, and the reinforcement that's supposed to have come from Shahil, because the guy was with the coup makers, so he would not budge an inch. So what he did was that he called the vehicles ready, and then asked escort to take Madam Fatia and the children to the Egyptian embassy, which is very close to the Flagstaff House. You know, when you pass through, Cross the King, that place. I mean, you go 2 hours after you're going there. It's not very far from Flagstaff House.
It's true.
So, along the line, when the vehicle moved out from Flagstaff House, not only the soldiers, they took cover around Christ the King Church. The moment they saw Madam Fatia and children passing, they arrested them. Honestly, at times...
Where were they taken to?
They were taking them to Egyptian embassy for safekeeping.
Yes, so when the soldiers arrested them?
They arrested them. And they took them straight to police headquarters.
Accra Central? Or the one near Accra Central?
Police headquarters, the one at the
on the way to
Ring
Accra.
Road.
Yes, Ring Road.
They took them to that place. The humiliation that came to those people, honestly, at times, I always say that it's God that does everything. Samia couldn't have come to this country.
Why do you say so?
Why I say so? Because of what was meted to even the family.
What did they do to them?
What happened?
They were really disgraced. Now, from the Colonel Sarango had wanted them to be at a safer place in the Egyptian embassy because the soldiers couldn't have entered the embassy. They couldn't have done it, as you know. So immediately arrested them, they took them to police headquarters. From there, they were deported.
Out of the country?
Exactly.
Same day, 24th February, 66.
They were deported. Look at the mental agony of Madam Fatia and the children.
And did Osagyefo know about all of this, the happenings with the family? Because you mentioned earlier on that
they didn't know.
They didn't even...
Until I came back, I told you, Colonel Sarango was my boss. We were together in 3BN. Exactly. And so then we came together also in Flagstaff House. He was in charge of the POGR, President. He was in charge. And also, so we were very friendly and we keep on interacting with each other. So when we came back,
when did you come back? At what time did you return?
When we brought Osagyefo's body.
The body.
In 72.
So when we came back, then I congratulated Colonel Sarango for his effort that we had in Conakry. How he stood up fighting. Had it not been that he was disappointed by his second in command for reinforcement, the coup would never have been successful.
So indeed, Samia told us this morning that he in fact, herself and her siblings, the rest of the family, never saw Osagyefo.
No, it's a fact.
So that was a fact.
So from Flagstaff House, for them to take refuge at the Egyptian embassy, they were prevented by the soldiers. They arrested them, took them to police headquarters. Quickly, they were deported from this country. With all this humiliation, honestly, when we came back for some time, I've been in touch with Samia. And I'm proud to say that I was one of the people who contributed into Samia's coming back to this country. It was indeed in Italy. We were communicating. Eventually, when he was coming, who were the people who met Samia at the airport? The first time was Samia coming. Myself, one Senegalese, very close friend of, the father was a very close friend of Osagyefo. He was with us. Then Mike Egan. We were the three people that met Samia. The first time Samia was saving her food, the feet in the country. Then we thought of where Samia was going to be kept because they were having no property. Nkrumah had no property. Fortunately, Dr. Indum offered one of his hotel's rooms.
And that's where she stayed.
That's where Samia stayed.
And how long ago was this? When was the first time?
Pardon?
How long ago was this?
Before she became
MP?
I can't remember the time. That was before the last elections.
Listen, you're watching GH1 TV, and we are having a conversation with Major Agbeko Sedziafa, retired. He was the head of security at the castle and protecting Osagyefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We are having this conversation on the 50th anniversary of the overthrow of Osagyefo's government. Now, Major, you were with Osagyefo in China when the coup was announced, and you got to hear it from the Chinese authorities. You finally made it out of China to Guinea. Osagyefo got there ahead of you. Take us through the trip to Guinea and your time in Guinea for those 6 years.
Okay, our trip to Guinea, as I said, I was the head of the advance party to prepare the ground for Osagyefo to Guinea, because as I said already, a lot of African head of states proposed to Nkrumah to come and stay with them. But Nkrumah, President Nkrumah thought, he was thinking about the distance, the proximity of Ghana and the other countries. As I've already said, head of states like Jusho Nyerere, Azuma Banda, President Nasser of Egypt, lot of, those progressive African countries, they were able to invite Nkrumah, but he found Guinea as a suitable area for us to stage a comeback. As I was saying, when you look at the map of Ghana, extreme end, Hamile, the distance from Hamile to Guinea is not very far. You only cross Ivory Coast, then you go to northern part of Conakry. So he took this.
Does that mean Osagyefo was confident of a return to Ghana?
All of us were confident because we had everything at disposal to come back.
What were the things you had at your disposal?
It's past already, I can see everything.
Yes, you can.
Please share.
We had jet fighters, everything you can think of.
Secretariat provided all these things for
Not
you?
Secretariat, I can't say which country provided us. The jet fighters that I saw, my life as a military officer, look, one jet fighter will shake the whole of Accra. When it's moving, you see flame come behind it. The noise alone will frighten you. At time when they are going around displaying, Osagyefo will come out and say, "Oh, laugh." Now,
What were his comments when he saw this place?
no, he said, "Look, me Kwame Nkrumah to go and kill innocent Ghanaians because I want to be president. Let Ghanaians fight. If they start fighting, I'll come in." Now, the strategy that these people did was that they were able to arrest all the CPP people, those who could organize the people against the coup makers. They were able to, they succeeded in silencing all of them by putting them in detention. So most of the people who can write, there was no leader for them.
So the fight never happened.
Yes.
The fight that you were expecting to happen never happened. How are you keeping in touch with information from Ghana?
Yeah. We had a powerful radio station in Conakry. You cough, we hear in Conakry. The time that they were burying Nkrumah alive, they say that they put Nkrumah in coffin. Abu Dome. We will be hearing everything.
They had a mock burial?
Mock burial of Nkrumah. We are hearing everything in Conakry. We were hearing everything in Conakry. Look, we were prepared. And because of that, Nkrumah was broadcasting to the people of Ghana, sensitizing them.
Really?
Okay.
From the voice of the revolution, Conakry. And then when Nkrumah, after his broadcast, the script is given to all those of us who can speak the various Ghanaian languages. The Ghana, we have Mr. Kujo, he speaks in Ghana. Translate the Nkrumah speech from voice of the revolution to the people of Ghana to listen to what Nkrumah has said in our local dialects. Kujo was speaking in Ghana. I was speaking in Efe. My nickname was Kofi Dumenyo. That was my nickname on radio.
Amaga Kofi Dumenyo.
Yes. That's my nickname on radio, Conakry from the voice of the revolution. Then Ibrahim, he speaks in Hausa. And then one Sima also speaks in Zima. These are the things.
Did that make any difference?
What?
The broadcasts that were coming in.
He wanted to sensitize.
Was it?
No, he wanted to sensitize Ghanaians.
How did Ghanaians receive the message?
That he is still alive, and he was telling them the treacherous, what they did to Ghana, and what we shall expect in some years to come. He was saying it on Radio Conakry. It was, I think I had I have the original tape recorded of Osagyefo speech from Conakry. I gave it to someone. Okay, I'm here to get it. I will give it to you. That is the voice of the revolution. All Nkrumah's speeches to the people of Ghana. Now, as I've already said, we are well prepared. But at the same time, too, Secretary had made Nkrumah to be his co-president.
Secretary was the president of Guinea.
Yes, and he made President Nkrumah his co-president. And the Guineans really enjoyed it. They were very proud. Why? You see, Guineans, at times I keep on wondering, because when they were having the problem with the French government, before they had independence, Secretary said if they are poor, they prefer to be, independent than to be rich. So when the French was going to grant the Guinean independence, even, electric bulbs on the city lights, they took everything away. So Nkrumah had to help them to sustain.
So that is true, because I've heard and read reports about how that he took our money and gave it to Guinea. How true was that?
It was an assistance, yes.
Okay.
And if your brother is in trouble and you help your brother, is it a crime? It's no
definitely
crime.
not. But then, could that be partly the reason why that there are reports of how that he had embezzled money, taken money out of
No.
government costs?
I am here to challenge anybody that Nkrumah owns that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been suffering in Conakry.
In Osagyefo's reflective moments, what has been his thoughts about everything that happened?
And at times when we met together and discussing things, he normally say a lot sort of things to us. And honestly, at a point he was disappointed in Ghanaians. What really he meant for Ghana, and he was disappointed. Was his one. Even at a point, even he told us that, look, when we are back to Ghana, he was going to reform the CPP. He told us point blank that you are you boys are going to be the nucleus of the new CPP I'm going to form. Nkrumah told us in Conakry, because the older people, because they have arrested their leaders, everybody kept quiet. But then, as I've already told you, we had everything at our disposal to come back to this country. But Nkrumah wanted a slight ignition, then we come in.
Which never came.
Which never came. But, if you remember, Atta's coup, the one that killed Osagyefo.
The one that killed Kotoka?
That killed Kotoka, yes. The one that killed Kotoka. I don't know whether Atta and who? There were two.
It will come.
I think they were doing their own thing. Otherwise, with that commotion, we are coming. Because we were ready for everything. Because there was no communication whatsoever between us and Atta's coup, that killed Kotoka. Otherwise, it was very easy for Urakam. No, because we had everything. Look, I said, even though we were not going to even fire a shot, and all this will run away.
Was Osagyefo disappointed in Kotoka?
Why not? Because he promoted all those people to come to the limelight. Definitely, yes. No, to be honest with you, the legend of Kotoka was not very much known before the coup.
Are you surprised that our airport is still named after him?
Why not? Why not? Why not? Have I written a paper on that some time ago or something like that?
What are your thoughts about that? That the fact that the first entry into this country is an area that is named after
left to me
somebody
alone,
who did a coup.
they should rename it to be Accra International Airport, as it was. Left to me, they should have renamed that place Accra International Airport, not Kotoka. What have you seen? What is the benefit of making the CC coup? What's the benefit?
Major, I think that in your submissions you talk about when we were suffering in Conakry. In the same breath, you also talk about how that you had everything at your disposal.
Yes.
And you could have made that comeback.
Yeah, what I said was,
what do you mean by
when we went to
Conakry?
Conakry, we were housed at a hotel Camayen.
How many of you were in Conakry?
Now, those of us who traveled for Osagyefo from Accra, we were around about 30, 40 or so. But immediately after the coup, some African and Ghanaian students in Soviet Union joined us out of sympathy. So our number became very large.
Okay.
And then you ended up in Conakry, and what was life like? Did you speak French? Did Osagyefo speak French?
He was,
how were you? And
was,
you left family also behind in Ghana.
Yes.
So we want to know how you went through 6 years.
When he became the co-president of Guinea, I think he was trying to brush his French language a bit. I was on this Atta's case, as I said, we were prepared to come, but Atta's decision took us by surprise. I always say that would have been a very good opportunity for Osagyefo to come back. But, well, man proposes, but God disposes. So this is how. But life in Conakry was not comfortable for her.
Not comfortable?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Because after our initial stay in Hotel Camayen, everything was being borne by the Guinean government. You know, the economy is not buoyant as that of Ghana. So it came to a point that we had to get accommodation very close to Villa Sili, rented quarters. And all of us were registered as refugees.
You were really like refugees?
Yes!
So you sympathize with the Yemenis and the Syrians who are in Ghana now?
You ventured into
Well, once a
area.
refugee, but not this GT Gotanwo people, no. Their case is a different case.
Why
They're
not?
Refugees. They're not refugees.
Why not?
Refugees are, when
So
it's not Bujumbura, when
Bujumbura.
we gave them a place to stay, be free, they married some Ghanaians, so and so. But these refugees, are they not incarceration?
They have come to also, you know, mingle and have families. And
No,
all
I'm not
that.
talking. Are we talking about the Guantanamo, 2 people, or talking about?
No, you were just talking about the fact that you were refugees. You were almost like refugees in Guinea.
Oh, yes,
And
yes.
were you able to mingle with the people?
Some of our colleagues, out of frustration, they got married to someone.
Out of frustration. They got married to some Guinean beauties.
That's an interesting.
How about you?
How about
Major?
yourself? Where was your family when all of this was happening? When you were away for a long
They
time?
were away, and at the same time, too, Osagyefo would not allow Fatia to come to Guinea because see the predicament of all of us, so we will not allow. But you know, apparently, when we came back, some of our wives got married to another people.
Did your wife get married? Did she remarry?
Let's leave that one.
Oh, come on. Oh, now we're getting personal. We just want to know.
I say some of our wives got married before
Yes.
we came back.
Because you're talking about suffering, and I'm even wondering. About Osagyefo. Did he have a girlfriend?
No, not to our knowledge. The only person who normally comes to Osagyefo was Jumil, the one who has been writing his
The
books.
white lady.
Yeah, the one who has been writing books.
So, to the best of your knowledge, Osagyefo never had any kids apart from Samia and her brothers.
Let's come to it. To my knowledge, none.
Okay.
That guy who called himself what? Is he Onsi or so?
Onsi.
I took him on. He wanted to be a president of Ghana. How can the foreigner be a president of Ghana? So I wrote a paper to the CPA quarters that that guy is not a Ghanaian. He should, unless he prove to us that he's a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Either he go to DNA, they will take Samia's blood, take Dr. Francis' blood, take the rest, and then we compare to make sure that it's not. And the other person can come and say he's a Ghanaian, and we accept the person.
not that man.
So I say they should get rid of him.
Yeah. But I'm still interested in your Guinea days because I see
Well,
that
certain
I see that
becoming
it brings a lot of emotion to the fore.
So, as I said, we were formally, first when we got to Conakry, we were at Hotel Camayen, and we were being fed 3 times a day. And, you know, life became difficult. So we had to go to rented quarters.
Okay.
And then all of us were registered as refugees.
Okay. What was a normal routine?
Yes.
Woke up in the morning. What did you do in the mornings?
No,
What did
what we
Osagyefo
do
in
is
the
that,
mornings?
what we do is that definitely our president is our president, so we protect the president as we are doing in Ghana. We run shift to protect him. Yes, we run shift. But you see, I always thank Secretariat and the wife. They wouldn't like Nkrumah to be alone for him to be thinking anything. So anytime President Sekou make sure that he's always with Osagyefo. If he will not come, he will make sure that his wife or his bodyguard, is it Kamara also, be of Osagyefo. They want to keep him company. At times they will come and dine with him for him to take heart, to be happy.
From being President Nkrumah's, head of security, to being a refugee in somebody else's country. How did what impacts did that have on you as a person?
Me?
Yes.
The consolation that some of us had was that we were with the president, and we're happy that we were saving the man. For example, during those days in Conakry, the NLC put out propaganda.
National Liberation Council.
Yes, they put out propaganda that those of us who were living with Osagyefo in Conakry were living there under duress, and that it was not out of our free will that we were there. So I think they put up this matter with the United Nations. So a delegation came from the United Nations to interview us.
But that wasn't the case.
So even, I think some of our, you can even see that we hold, that's at Conakry Airport.
Okay, so this is a picture of people demonstrating?
Yes, you are demonstrating.
Okay. So President Nkrumah's entourage demonstrating at Conakry Airport 1967 on arrival of OAU members to investigate if Ghanaians were being held in Guinea against their will.
Yes,
so these were people who were obviously...
So when they came, they interviewed whether we were being under duress. We said, no, we are happy with our president. So they said they were prepared to offer us a first safe passage to... We said, no way. We're prepared to die with the man.
So you really dedicated... How about your family? I'm sure you had people back in Accra. Were you ever in contact with them for the 6 years?
How do you contact?
No letters?
Nothing.
No phone calls?
No.
But Osagyefo was calling Fatia and Samia and...
I don't think so.
No calls? But letters?
So. I don't think so. Because when I met Madam Fatia, as I said, at the Continental Hotel, we discussed a lot of things.
How did that make you feel? No contact with your family. 1 minute you are in China, and then in the next minute you are in Guinea.
Did you have children?
Yes, that's why I say it was a very hectic this thing for us.
How many did you have children at the time?
Oh, why not? Yes.
How many children did you have at the time?
At the time,
yes.
No, I came back before I had your friend Confidence.
Oh, okay.
I came back before I had Confidence.
By the way, when he says confidence, he's talking about confidence.